Hello, welcome to the Patreon creators page of Debra V. Wilson. This page is here because I'm seeking funding to work on an MPhil that would accompany my work as a National Security Analyst on a consulting basis. As you know, if you follow my YouTube channel under my name, I'm looking at national security and policing models from a civil society perspective, how they are understood and experienced by civil society, and how civil society responds to said models in Canada, Israel, and the UK. I think the understanding of the way in which civil society understands and experiences national security models gives an extra tool to both the state and civilians. And it's a way of communicating. You can look at activism as a communication between civilians and the state, and particularly when it's around issues of national security or policing, it is a check on how things are understood and how things are received. For the last 2 years, I have been self-funding my research that has taken me to Canada, Israel, and back to the UK, which is where I'm now. It is my goal to work on a research-based master's degree, preferably an MPhil, and whilst I'm doing that research, which I'm hoping I will find funding sources for that, I would be interested as I'm going through the research, and it would be not only the service I would provide to my funder, but also quite, I think, edifying to have a funder, hopefully a practitioner organization here in the UK, edit and comment my work, which I will be doing through an academic perspective, but to get insight from either an agency that is within the government or a think tank organization that perhaps I would be a part of the team. So I'm going to post here regularly some of my YouTube videos, and this account I will keep up and running and continually reach out looking for funders. Preferably I would like a single funder, but I am more than happy to receive donations with much gratitude and thanks. By the way, the picture, there's a picture I have of myself, which is on all my social media accounts, and the gentleman, the man that I have on the banner is my father, Mr. Wilson. And may he rest in peace with my mom, Mrs. Wilson. I decided to put the picture of my father as the banner photo because when I was a child, my father initially, his engagement with me was probably not very traditional. I was born in 1957, and he was very adamant and keen that I learn about national security. And the model I initially learned about was Israeli, the Israeli model of national security. So from a very early age, I was curious to understand how and why states choose the way in which they do to keep safe. After years of activism in the UK starting in the 80s, whilst I simultaneously lived in Chicago and maintained a business career in Chicago, I traveled back and forth to the United Kingdom and worked in London, England in the third sector. And always my activism sought to understand how civil society understood national security and their responses to that understanding. I at some point expanded and sought to do a comparative analysis with Israel and Canada's respective models of national security and policing and how their civil society engages. I would be very keen to have the opportunity to present work or do a consulting project in Canada as well as Israel. I seek to base myself from an academic perspective out of the UK, which is why I've posted and set up this page the way I have. But again, I would be very interested in talking with potential think tanks in both Israel and Canada about my work. Thank you very much. This is Debra V. Wilson, and welcome aboard to my journey.